Game 3 of the NLDS series tied at 1 apiece. Dodgers trailing by a run. Gavin Lux, their final hope, and Gavin Lux couldn't quite get it done as he strikes out. The Padres go on to take a 2-1 lead in the series. Padres had a 6-run second inning. Walker Buehler not having his best outing in that one, but Teoscar Hernandez responded with a grand slam to cut the lead to 1, but that's all the offense we got in this one. As the Padres take Game 3, 6-5 is your final. Dodgers looking to even the score. That'll be Wednesday night. And now we welcome in CBS Sports MLB analyst and former Miami Marlins president David Samson. And David, coming into this game, you and I talked about momentum. You said momentum lies with starting pitching and the offense's ability to get going. With the Padres bats, they got going early and often in this one, but both pitchers having kind of rough outings. Ultimately, Padres defensively hanging on for the victory. If you had to give me your biggest takeaway from Game 3 between the Dodgers and Padres, it would be what?
And that it ended up being a battle of the bullpens, and it is very rare when you're the home team to score 6 runs early in the game and then not add on at all. It doesn't matter that you're up 6-1 or 5-0. You've got to add on after a big inning, and the Padres couldn't do it. But the Dodgers, they ended up getting the grand slam, but then could not overcome the last 1 run. It's like being down 4 touchdowns and then losing by a safety. And it's not like they didn't have a lot of at-bats to do it. But 2 things happened of note. Buehler settled down and King settled down, and they gave their teams length, which was not expected with those big run innings that happened so early in the game. And that's important for bullpens for tomorrow's game.
Oh, I love that, because you talk about length, and I wanted to dive more into both sides of this matchup. Let's start with the Padres. I think about them coming into the postseason, their performance thus far, and it makes me kind of beg the question, do you believe that the Padres, with what we've seen, are the most complete team remaining in the playoffs?
The most complete team in the playoffs. Let's talk about rotation. Where is the hole in the Padres rotation? They get to go to Martin Perez as their Game 4 starter. You have other teams that have to go bullpen games. See the Dodgers. Bullpen, lockdown. You can go 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th every night. And the last 3 with Adams, Scott, and Suarez, almost impossible to get a hit. The lineup, Tatis, I think his OPS maybe 2,000. That's how he's been this postseason. Obviously, a little small sample size. So they've got offense. Arias at first base is like a Gold Glover. Defense. They have pitching. They have everything. That seems like a pretty complete team to me.
You talk about having everything. Well, maybe that's something that the Dodgers don't quite have, because we saw Dave Roberts talking mid-game about the option of pulling Walker Buehler. I know we talked about eventually he settled in, but obviously Dodgers needing to prepare for what lies ahead. But do you think that they have enough pitching to survive the series?
Well, I didn't think they had enough pitching to start this postseason, and they've obviously had a ton of injuries, but a lot of teams have injuries this time of year. But we talked about before this game, Walker Buehler, what a great name, and I give him so much credit for giving him innings today. He got to 5 innings. It's some sort of miracle in San Diego, but he's not the old Walker Buehler. And we talked about what he'd done against San Diego, but again, this is the new Walker Buehler, much less effective. But you tell your pitcher early, and Dave Roberts told us in an in-game interview, hey, we're not taking him out. He needs to give us more innings because we're not going to wave the white flag. But what he also meant is we need our bullpen fresh with extra innings for tomorrow, because we don't have a starter for tomorrow who we can count on to go anytime through the lineup more than once, maybe twice. So it's when you don't have the starting pitching, it changes the complexion of the entire way you have to manage your game.
And not just that, because I want to take it a little bit of a step further, but just looking at how this game went. And I know I was talking about momentum pregame, and we talked a little bit about it now, but do you think the Padres' atmosphere might be just too much for LA?
No, I'm not an atmosphere guy. It's amazing when you're in the clubhouse with players, they like playing in front of raucous visiting crowds because the best thing as a baseball player is to get an entire stadium to be quiet. And to do that, they have to be loud first. And look what the Dodgers did. They got that grand slam from Teoscar Hernandez, making it a 6-5 game. And it was very quiet because it was going to be a blowout. And then it became this tense game for the rest of the game, a one-run game. So players love that. They love the stage, and it doesn't bother them one bit.
Well, David, they're going to have to silence or need to silence the Petco Park crowd as they enter a do-or-die situation. That's going to be on Wednesday, and I'm sure we'll have you to talk all about that. We appreciate you stopping by, David. Well, take a look at the most home runs by a player in a single postseason in Padres history. Fernando Tatis Jr. having himself a day now with 4, tied with Manny Machado and Jim Leyritz back in 1998. Having himself a day and looking to continue that as Game 4. That's Wednesday.